Students, now in this segment of the program, let's engage in a dialogue on issues that are of interest to you. We have some students who would like to ask our honor some questions and seek a guidance. Those of you that are interested can put some questions in the chat line as well. I will call upon Ian Korovisky from the Academy for Gifted Students, grade 10, to ask his first question. Go ahead, Ian.
Good morning. Honor, given your extensive involvement in the area of the environment, what advice will you give us students today? What can we do to help the environment? Thank you.
Thanks very much for your question, Ian. Actually, we could have a long conversation about all the things that can be done. But let me, in the interest of time, just make one response. And that is that the small things matter. You know, so often with environmental issues, we think climate change is just such a big issue. The whole world has to be engaged. Or we think about the fact that we're losing so much of our biodiversity and their habitat, and how can we possibly do anything? So if there's one message I would leave, it is that the small things do matter. And so for you, it may be cleaning up. I mean, we live around the Great Lakes, for example. How wonderful to be able to just clean up the garbage that people have left around. A very simple way to spend an hour outside on the shores of waterways, or even here in the city of Toronto with our ravines. People are leaving things all the time. So picking up garbage, choosing what you buy. We know that we want to try and get rid of single-use plastics, for example. We've seen what they do to fish, to large mammals in the water. And we know that we need to do better on things like that. We're learning, for example, that even the clothing we choose makes a difference. The clothing and textiles and fashion, actually, next to oil and gas, is the largest polluter in the world. Most people don't realize that. And you can make a difference by recycling, reusing. So that's just very quickly one idea about reaching out and watching what's happening in your own neighborhood, in the world around you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I think that's a very practical and initiative that can be implemented by all of us. So thank you. And you referred to the lakes that we have. I think one of the big initiatives at the last Commonwealth Head of Government was the Blue Oceans Initiative. And students, what that really is all about is trying to clean up our waterways and our oceans, very much what Her Honor said earlier, referred to. So I think that's another huge area in terms of starting small at our own lakes, own beaches, in terms of how we keep that clean. So Ian, what research have you done in the area of the environment as part of your school project?
As a very important part of our curriculum is research, and I've had the privilege of finding out more about environmental issues currently occurring in Ontario. Like, we can talk forever about this. We can talk about things such as deforestation, pollution, and in the end, it's a very large topic.
Thank you, Ian, but can you tell me the one piece that comes to mind as a part of your research that you're concerned about or that can be done?
Well, one very big thing that comes to mind is issues regarding the deforestation occurring in Algonquin Park.
So that's a good one. I mean, we go there, we camp there, we travel to Algonquin Park, and the whole question of deforestation is an important issue. So thank you very much. Keep up the good work, keep up that research, and be a torchbearer and flag bearer for improving the environment here in our province. Thank you very much. We have our next student who wishes to ask a question is Rohan. And Rohan Hindoka is a grade 10 student at the Academy as well. Rohan, over to you. You can ask Her Honor the question.
Good morning, Your Honor. As a young citizen of the Commonwealth, we want to make the world a better place. Can you please suggest what we as students can do to help other students in the Commonwealth? Thank you.
Thanks very much for your question, Rowan. The first thing I would say is we had some just marvelous examples of what can be done from Erin's speech, which gave us a whole host of opportunities to become engaged with the Commonwealth. But let me, in adding to his remarks, let me just say that one of the wonderful things about the Commonwealth is that we can learn from other people. It's not only us in the wonderful, rich community in which we live in Canada that can teach others. We have much to learn from other countries around the globe. And one of the things that I've discovered here in Ontario, as I do 700 or more events a year, is that it is through listening to other people's stories that we learn so much. And it's not the technical things that we learn, although we surely do that. It's also about who people are. And the most important thing is that in the telling of stories, we actually learn to walk in other people's shoes. And that's broader than just the environment, but we learn empathy. We learn to understand other people and their hopes and aspirations and also their concerns. And we can reach out. That the joy of the world in which we live right now is that we have technology that allows us to connect with virtually anybody, anywhere in the world. And the real lesson of COVID is that we know we're not going to get rid of COVID-19 here in Canada until everyone in the world is also rid of it as well. And so that connection that we make is just so important. It's very easy on matters of the environment because young people are inherently interested in creating a better environment around them. And there are all kinds of solutions. So do reach out. There's lots that can be done. And you'll find it's just such a wonderful experience to connect with people, whether it's in neighborhoods close to your own or whether it's neighborhoods around the world. It's a wonderful experience.
Thank you, Your Honor. We also had another question on the chat line from Mohammed Abdulaziz, a Canadian who has joined us from Abu Dhabi. It's on the pandemic, and you alluded to that in your response to Rowan. So thank you very much, Rowan, for that very thoughtful question. Students helping other students. Your question reminds me of what Sir Winston Churchill once said. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. And I think that's so powerful a message that if that could be a guiding principle for many of the things that we want to do in the Commonwealth, just like Erin said, we as an affluent country have much to offer and to give to those that are less fortunate within the Commonwealth. And that brings in the whole concept of family, one part of the family helping another part of the family. Great question. Thank you very much.